I know it's hard
Yeah,
not
I
to
know it is,
interrupt,
but it's not what you
try.
said in the op-ed.
Breathe.
Lion
breathe,
Ted.
breathe.
This, history tells us, is nothing new.
The election of 1800, one of the first elections in United States political history as a nation, is as bitter as any election in American history.
Then candidate Thomas Jefferson was targeted as an atheist and as a blood-stained supporter of the French Revolution. In his inaugural address, Jefferson tried to unite the deeply divided nation.
He makes the point of saying that differences of opinion are not the same thing as differences of principle, that we are all in this together.
The inner private Jefferson is revealed here in a sprawling show that covers his personal thoughts, passion for design, and love of all things plants. Here, there's more evidence of his architectural ambitions than his presidential ones.
He was self-taught. He was a careful draftsman.
He himself drew up plans for the University of Virginia and the state capitol. But Jefferson had a lifelong fascination with Monticello. He was in his early 20s when he began designing his mountaintop home, work he continued for the next 50 years. Jefferson kept meticulous notes and records. He carefully documented his property and inventory, which included his slaves, numbering as many as 150 at one time. In the same deliberate hand, he maintained detailed accounts of his experiments with agriculture, including his many, many failings.
He's an amateur scientist, but he's devoted to agricultural improvement. He thought gardening was a fine art.
Planting and Monticello's construction preoccupied Jefferson, even during his most politically contentious moments, like the hotly contested 1800 election. But when Jefferson was engaged, watch out. The Declaration of Independence, the document he penned, made him furious after a committee editing the final version removed his attacks on the slave trade.
He made manuscript copies, including the one we have on display, so that his friends would know how his original text had been mutilated. That's the word he used.
Jefferson was guarded even in his private letters. He slightly opened up later in life, though, when he and his one-time political nemesis, John Adams, found a warm friendship through letter writing.
When Abigail Adams dies, he writes immediately and says, the only way there is to deal with grief is time and silence. And I think that's perfect explanation of the kind of person that Thomas Jefferson was.
Jared Bowen, WGBH News.